You're in
That's
Marco.
awesome.
bragging.
All
Charlie,
right.
you're in Marco Island?
That is
Yeah,
awesome, Sally.
that is great.
That's great.
Stephanie Miller's here. What in the world?
All right.
Is that the real Stephanie Miller?
on in.
Hang on a second. I gotta see if that's really. Oh man, I gotta. Oh, jeez. Where's Stephanie? Are you there, Steph?
She typed in, "Hey guys."
Hey. So Stephanie Miller's here. You still on Percocet?
I think you elevated Rosemary by accident.
I elevated Rosemary by mistake. I was trying to hit it, but it's too many people coming in at the same time. So
It's all
Steph,
good. I popped her back.
there you go. Allow Stephanie. Did
There
I
we
do it
go.
right? There we go.
Yep.
Stephanie, you there?
I am here. How you
Hey,
guys doing?
good. How you doing? How you feeling?
Yeah.
So those of you who don't know, Stephanie Miller's with B Technology. We actually have a briefing later, right after this one. So I'm not even gonna try to talk to you because I can tell you're not hardly even here. And you should not even be here at all. You shouldn't even be there at the next one. But anyway, good to see
Yeah. I've been putting in a lot of hours the last couple of days. It's amazing.
you. It is amazing. You probably can't read a thing that you're typing, but that's okay.
It's all good.
Awesome. Steph is great. And her husband's pretty okay too, every once in a while, right?
Oh, I don't know. You said that.
All right. So anyway, so the question today is, where are you from and what is your favorite sports team, ladies and gentlemen, because we're coming up on NFL season. So anybody, you can have any sports team that you like. And if you don't like sports teams, that's okay. You can pick your favorite book or something. I don't really care. But if you know what this is, you're from north of us, north of the Mason-Dixon line in a western city of Pennsylvania, you might see Sheila. So, sorry, you're disconnected. Sheila's a Steelers fan. So there you go. So where are you from and what's your favorite football, sports team? The Eagles. Okay, I can deal with the Eagles.
So can I have
All
my
right, so what do we
favorite
got?
curling team? Dave, can I have my favorite curling team?
Favorite curling
You
team.
can have your favorite curling team.
Good.
United
in
States.
honor of you, Zach, who was hanging out with the most amazing person in the pub in the UK.
Hey.
That's right.
Hey, David,
All
it's
right,
the
so
New England
Bills. We got
Patriots.
Stephanie's
hands
got
down.
Bills.
It's the New England Patriots, hands down.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, you can now that you're losers, I don't really care.
Oh, E. Bryce, I feel your
Oh.
pain. I feel
Wait,
your
we'll be
pain, buddy.
back.
Samuel's from Balmer Ravens, hon. Love it. All right, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Joe Jets from Sioux, Michigan Wolverines. Love that. All right, Randall, Virginia, and Dallas, the Oklahoma Sooners. So you're from Dallas and you like the Sooners. Okay, we'll take that. That's good, Julie. Julie Branson, love Julie Branson in the house. Rob, Eagles. Let's see, Big Ten. All right,
Charlie
DC.
Caravella representing the Dolphins down here.
All right, DC, go Packers, because you can't possibly say the Commanders. Green chili cheeseburgers. All right, whatever. I appreciate that, April. And Yankees. Yuck. All right, as you go, Charlie. Lax. Ravens from Baltimore County. Lax, love it. Packers, love it, from Tim. All right, we'll go ahead and get cooking. You can pop it in there. Where you from and what's your favorite sports team? From Maryland, you got the Patriots, Melissa. That's wrong. All right, we'll go ahead and get us started. We got a bunch of stuff to go through here today. In fact, we're going to change it up just a little bit. Hopefully, that's not the right screen. They share the right screen. Is that the right one? There we go. Now we got it. All right, fantastic, everybody. So where are you from and what's your favorite sports team? For those of you who don't know, I'm from Woodstock, Maryland, and the Ravens. We got our first game in 2 days for the preseason. Whoop, whoop. So There you go. But for right now, we're going to be talking about the federal game. Look at that segue. Do you believe that, Sally White? That was a segue for you.
Brilliant.
All right. 80% of new contracts will be executed right now in Q4. What are you talking about, Dave? That's right. We're in Q4 of the federal year. All the money has to be spent. Why is this, Peter Timbus?
What was that, David?
Why does this have to be done by 9:30? Everything has to be spent? Why?
Or you lose it.
You lose it this year and you lose it next year. So if you want to
That's
win,
right.
stick around. We'll be talking about that real quick. Dave knows who I am. We do data, marketing, and business development support. There's my information. ISI Federal is my company, been around since 2009, and we've been rocking and rolling with a couple of different things. We'll be talking a little bit about market essentials today. Gov Brief, we'll talk a little bit about that as well. The big thing we're going to be talking about after Gov Brief, first of all, interagency briefings. We have Stephanie Miller, who's up today talking about the cyber kill chain, aren't we, Stephanie? Stephanie is a client of ours.
Yeah, she's preparing for the cyber kill chain. She says
She's
yes.
prepared for that. So anyway, she was on just a minute ago, but you can see all the different things that we're doing. And guess what? If you want to do it, you can't, because it's booked and the next opening is 10/26 and there's limited space. If you want to be one of our clients, you can reach out to us and we'll make sure that we can do that for you. Govbrief.us is where you can find that. And you can also find industry briefings that we do, and we educate and we use, and different subject matter experts are coming. I'm telling you what, it is lighting up. We got Brian Hebel doing the white paper stuff on the 11th, win last minute P cards. I forget who that is. Is it Kristen or what is her name? Trisha. Trisha's going to be joining us. SAM.gov engaging federal buyers, as well as last minute contract opportunities and contract opportunities tutorial on SAM.gov on 8:30. So you can check that out on Gov Brief. The big game changer is Sam Radar. We just launched it 3 weeks ago. We've been modifying it from Sam.bid, which absolutely sees 98% of the contracts that never hit SAM.gov. And you're saying, what, Dave? 98% doesn't hit SAM.gov? That's right. Absolutely. And we also monitor SAM.gov and GSA eBuy so that you can win. We can also market to GSA if you have products. With that, I'm going to, let's see, is Raphael here? Did he make it? I didn't see Rafa.
I
I know
think
Rafa's been.
Jonathan's here.
Oh, we got Jonathan.
No,
Serrano.
Jonathan's
Hold on a
here.
second. Jonathan Serrano's here with Rafael Marrero and company. Jonathan, you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm
Sorry
here.
about that, man.
No worries.
There you go. Didn't have you unmutified. So we'll talk a little bit about capabilities in a minute. I'm going to let you highlight that if that's okay.
Yeah.
And additionally, we have Mr. Greg Clark, who's in the house, who helps with proposal writing. And I'm going to highlight you because there's some things that you got to do at the end of the year, right, Greg Clark?
The game changes a little bit, doesn't it?
The game changes just a little bit, just a tad. So there you go. We also have Sally White, direct from where? Marco Island? Is that where you are?
Marco Island, Florida. I'm actually working on the beach, sort of, but I didn't have internet access. So yeah, I just put my name in the chat. Happy to be here with all of you.
And
you're
why are you
straight,
down there?
straight across from me.
So I'm here helping a customer. I'm representing Urenco. They're North America's only uranium enrichment company, and people hire me to help them with conferences, connect with people, etc. And so they brought me here, told me on Friday. I didn't have a room, so I had to book a suite, willing to take
Had to
one
book
for
a
the
suite.
team.
Rough
Crazy.
life.
Crazy. So yeah,
Show
happy to
out
be
your
here.
window again. Show out your window.
Okay.
This is fantastic. So people hire her to go to these industry
Don't
days. and
judge.
everything.
Show like I'm just like hanging out the whole time.
That's right.
So why don't speech I've never seen. Yeah. So I'm new, so I
Everybody
came
fe-
out from the conference really quick so I could be with all of you, because truly the only reason I'm doing this is because I meet so many wonderful people here on ISI, and I have lots of people. It's a lead generation machine. So I highly encourage you to engage with Dave and the ISI team so that your machine can keep bringing in potential customers, relationships that you can connect with.
There you go. We'll be talking a little bit about that, Sally White. And I'm jealous about where you are right now, being in the suite and all. We also have Peter Timbus, who helps with contract funding so that you can understand the federal business. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Peter Timbus.
Well, for 31 years, we've been lending to government contractors. what makes us different, whether you're a brand new company or an existing company. We are going to lend to your opportunity rather than your financial statements. So we lend to the financial statements. And the other important thing is that once David helps you identify and win a federal contract or identify a federal contract, we'll be there to give you a letter of financial support during the bidding process that may help you win that contract. So we fund federal government business, and we also provide letters of financial support that will help you win those contracts. And I'm up in Boring, New Hampshire.
And I put Peter's information in the chat. Peter's very gracious. You can book a 15-minute Calendly, or you can call him, and he'll sort of give you an evaluation of your business and really help you. He's very giving, not just what he provides, but he's very knowledgeable. He's helped Echo Wolf and many of my clients as well. So highly recommend you reach out to Peter.
Love it.
Thank you, Sally.
Always good. Always good. Brian's not here today because he's doing his own briefing right this minute, as a matter of fact. And I can't even be on there with him. He invited me, but I can't. So, but you can reach out to Brian with acquisitionhelp.com. Just watch for the training, does a lot of C-part. He actually trains Govies. So he's former Govy that trains Govies. So he's somebody that you should know as well. So participation is easy. You can chat, especially where you're from and your favorite team. Mine happens to be the Ravens, and anybody from the Steelers, they can just go away. Just saying. That's just the way we play, right? Love the rivalry, don't we? It's awesome. If you have questions, raise your hand or do the Q&A. We're not going to have a lot of times for questions today. So what I'm going to do is, if you do have questions, we're going to pass it on to the people that can give you the answers. And you guys can talk about this afterwards, because we have a lot of information today. Briefing controls, if you want to change things around, go up to the top, and you can use that little doodah right there, very scientific tune, the doodah, to be able to make us bigger or smaller, or whatever you like. Session handouts will be in the chat. We'll pop these in on occasion. We will be addressing the winnable opportunity matrix. The rest of the stuff is just there for your own well-being. We're not going to really talk a lot about those things, but we include those because it helps you to be able to get into this world. This event for industry is not affiliated or endorsed by anybody in the agencies. It's provided to you for informational purposes only, and it doesn't guarantee an award. And if we have any Govies here, if we have government folks here, your participation is voluntary, and it's not an indication or endorsement to purchase from anybody here. That way you can participate as well. And as part of the participation model, we have, why in the world did you guys join us today? Are you new to federal contracting? I have federal contracts as a subcontractor, and I want to be a prime. I have federal prime contracts and want to grow, or some knucklehead sent you an email. So while you're filling that out, let me tell you something. If you are new to the federal space, it is different. It's not like commercial. Is it anybody else? Greg Clark especially, is this anything like the federal? Is federal anything like commercial?
Completely different.
Completely
I mean, it's
different.
not just the language they use or what they need you to submit. Your capability statement looks different. Your business card looks different. Everything looks different when you're dealing with government agencies as opposed to dealing with commercial customers.
And if you're playing the game the same way, if it's different than the commercial game, you can't do it. You can't do it that way. So the game isn't played the way that we want to, or you want to. It's played the way they want to play it, and how they're going to play it. And that's just the way that it is. And if we want to play, we can play. Everybody can play. There's nobody that can't play. Well, there's a few people. Federal, what are some of them that can't play? Folks that have been felony people, right? Stuff like that. But other than that, if you're not felons, then you can play. And even then, I think you can play sometimes. So there you go. So we're going to go ahead and end this.
You can play from prison.
You can play from prison. So 63% have participated in this, 64% now. I'm going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. So we got 40% are new. Look at this. Look at this, Sally White. New to contracting.
Unbelievable.
Oh, awesome. We comes across all the way across the board. Love it. We're glad that you guys decided to join us today, and we're going to be talking about some specifics I think that'll be beneficial for everyone. So as we mentioned earlier, guess where we are? We're in September. Every bit of this 1.6 trillion, sorry, $1.6 trillion must be spent by 9/30. It has already been budgeted. So the first thing we need to do is we need to understand the market. For the newbies that are here, you have 4 different players in this. You have the politicals and the senior executives and the administrators. So they're the administrators, right? So, and then you have program, and then you have procurement. There's 2 different sides. This side cares about getting the job done, which means they care about your capabilities and what you have the capacity to do. This side cares about getting the contract done, which means they don't care about what you do. They care about the vehicle that you have in order to be able to purchase from, or your socioeconomic status. And these guys right here develop the need and throw it over the fence, because guess what? Program people, they can't spend the money. It's against the law. So what we did is we provided this in the session handouts. You'll see the winnable opportunity matrix, and this person right here is the program manager. The program manager throws it over the fence to the contracting officer to do the procurement. And that's how you have a federal opportunity. 2 different key decision makers, 2 different players. Sometimes one's more important than the other. That's right. The buyer can actually be more important if it's a commoditized sale. The program people don't care which company does that Dell computer. They don't care which company does the toner cartridges. They just want to get them in, right? So what can you do right now? We are down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be talking about following up, mass marketing, targeted marketing, monitoring for opportunities, and responding to RFPs. So hopefully you guys that are on here, because I didn't prep anybody for this one. So the first things first, follow-ups. Review all the contacts that you've talked to in the past 2 years. That's right. Go back 2 years, look at all the people that you've talked to via email, look in your calendar, look in your notepad and everything else, and say, oh man, there's 26 people, or maybe it's 150 people, whatever it is. Somebody like Sally White's got thousands of them, right, Sally? So
Sure, make sure you connect with them on LinkedIn.
and connect with them on LinkedIn, remind them who you are, ask them to remember you when they see one thing that you originally discussed. Hey, remember we met so-and-so? We met at so-and-so, and I just want you
We
to
ate a
remember
pizza
that.
together.
Yeah, what's that?
We ate a pizza together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever you did, and say, this is where we were, and we talked about this, and I would just want you to remember, this is what we do. And then you can ask for a referral right there. Say, who do you know that I should be talking to? Because I know there's year-end dollars here, and we love to get our piece. And then at the bottom of that email, make sure your signature, and this is going to be uniform throughout everything we're going to be talking about today. You have a UEI. If it still has the DUNS number, take it out. They can't even look you up by DUNS number anymore. UEI, cage code, your socioeconomic status, and your contract vehicles. If you're not sure what those things are, that's okay. Let us know, and we'll make sure that you get connected to the right people who can help. Then what can you do? Right now, you can mass market. What do you mean, Dave? What do you mean by mass market? Well, I'm going to talk about market essentials. I told you a little bit about this product before. This is one of our products. And if you don't like the fact that I'm pitching products right now, guess what? Remember what you paid for this. Just saying, that's first thing. Secondly, you need this. If you need it, great. If you don't need it, just kick it to the curb. But here's what I'm going to tell you is that you need to know your marketplace, and you need to know how much money is being spent in your market. Now, this can be done by NAICS, by PSCs, by keywords, but the objective is understand what your market is. This is almost a $43 billion market. 43 billion, one market. So this is what it says, 42.9. These are the total contracts, 160,000 contracts and change. Then on average, they're 268 and change, right? I want you guys to grasp this. These 4,995 companies won $42.9 billion. Let that sink in for a minute. 4,995 companies won $42.9 billion. Now watch this. These 7,331 people spent $42.9 billion. And ladies and gentlemen, that is why we're here. What you just saw is thousands of contacts in the context of your market, prioritized by activity in your market with the email and the phone, so you can act right now and do your mass marketing. Why do we do this? Because one buyer is worth $5.8 million. One single buyer relationship, one is worth $5.8 million. So you may be asking yourself, what should I send these people? Well, that's a great question. And the answer is your mass marketing email. By the way, I love mass marketing emails because they still do work if you do them right. And if you are addressing them personally. It doesn't have to look like a mass market email, does it, Sally White? Doesn't have to look like a
Dear Sally, dear Peter, dear Zachary, you definitely want to have that kind of CRM or system that allows you to do it great, which ISI absolutely does for you. And
We
it's very
can do that.
Can do that.
We can do that, but here's what you want it to look like. You're going to use updated capabilities as your subject line, and you're going to keep it short. Nobody's reading a novel. Nobody's reading 50,000 bullet points about anything that you do. Keep it short. And in this instance, because you're talking about something specific that they're purchasing in your NAICS, That's the thread. We love to talk about this, don't we, Sally? We like to pull on the thread. The thread that you're going to pull is the NAICS. The connection with them and between you and them is the NAICS code that they're purchasing in. You could give them one takeaway, not 15. Wowzers.
3 takes away.
Got an attack dog.
Woof.
Greg Clark. One key takeaway, how they're going to buy from you. So what's the vehicle, right? So if you have a GSA contract, or if you have an IDIQ, or if you have a blanket purchase agreement,
Small, yep.
or any of those things, that's what you're going to say. You're going to have a call to action, either to contact you or, hey, go check this out on GSA Advantage, right? And
Yep.
then your signature. Remember that signature I was talking about? UEI, cage code, socioeconomic status, your contract vehicle, all of the components that you would have in your regular email. So it looks exactly like it should, and it should be coming from you. And also you want to attach that as a readable PDF. The reason why your capabilities need to be a readable PDF is they strip the links when they're coming in. So if you're sending links that have some kind of thing to try to track, they're 80% of the time they get stripped, which means it's
speaking
not
of
going to work.
links, you can send a QR code. So what
You
that
can
means is when they get it, you don't need the link, but it can have the picture of the QR code and they can hover their camera over it. So that's a way to do the workaround.
You can do that too. And if you do that, you want to embed the image. That's a whole nother story. We can talk about that. So what are we talking about? We're talking about mass marketing to these folks, thousands of them, personally, reaching out to them with your updated capabilities. So if you want to mass market, here's the time. And this is the only time I ever ask this question, because you have to move, not because of pressure. I'm not pressuring anything. This pressure doesn't come from me. This pressure comes from you have to be in front of these people by the 1st of September if you want to start anything. So if you want anything, let me know. And now we're going to talk about what about those capabilities? What's important about the capabilities? We have Jonathan Serrano here with Rafael Marrero and Company. Now you work with Rafa. I know Rafa has been semi under the weather there. Jonathan, how's he doing these days?
He's recovering slowly. Yep, but he's still a little down.
He's still a little down. He got hammered. So there you go. But would you help with federal branding, as well as dealing with capability statements? And Raphael is always talking about the 6 C's. So tell us a little bit about capability statements. If they don't have a capability statement, why they need one, and then what it should have.
You definitely need a capability statement because they are specific to the government space. When you're interacting with any federal buyer, they're going to want to see that. It's basically your company's resume. And they're extremely important because they have to be written a certain way in order to gain the right sort of attention. And we cover what's called the 6 C's. We have to make sure you have the right capabilities narrative in there, which is your elevator pitch, right? We have to make sure your codes line up to what you guys actually deliver. That's your NAICS codes, North American Industrial Service codes, your PSC codes, product service codes. And we also want to highlight your past performance. What sort of customers have you had? What's your niche? Why are you different? Who have you delivered for? And then we want to talk about your core competencies, right? What are you really, really good at? And then super important, how can they contact you? Our CEO always highlights that he has seen capability statements that miss contact info. There's no contact info on there. You don't want to be
see
that
it all
guy.
the time.
You don't want
It's
to be that guy.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So super important. This gets you the interview. This is your resume. Once you get to the interview, we can also support you and train you on how to talk and how to engage with them.
Yeah, and the one other C that you skipped over was the contracts, but that's okay because I was paying
Contracts.
attention.
Yeah.
So the contracts again go to what are the vehicles? So the government needs a vehicle. You can have a one-off contract, right, Greg Clark? You can have a one-off firm fixed price, boom, that's all you get, right?
Yep.
One-off contract. But then you also have the ability to have GSA contracts. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but that's one of those contracts that you can use on a regular basis in other places, right?
That's right. Yep.
I'm on end this poll, 49 people. Wow. All right. We will talk. You all will be mass market targets from the team. Zachary, there's a crap ton of people there. So we're going to deal with that. We're going to get to you as quickly as we can, and we'll make sure we get you what you need. All right. With this, with the capabilities. Now, how long does it usually take to be able to create a capability statement? So that we know what we're talking about here for people helping people.
Yeah. So it takes us, once we get the ball rolling, it takes us a couple weeks to get a capability statement turned around. We collect a number of pieces of data to compose that for our clients. So a couple weeks, maximum a month, to get that turned around.
So in this instance, we may be pushing it off until you can still take your shot. Take the best shot you can this year, right? So if you need a capability statement, you're up against it for this year, but you're going to need it in 2023 anyway, right, Jonathan?
That's correct. You need it, period. So might as well get it started.
Right on. So while you're answering that, if you like that, and also, by the way, you help with making sure the SAM lines up. So all your SAM registration stuff has to be lined up too. So you can, if you need information and help from Raphael, capability statement wise and all that. So what else can you do right this minute? Here's what you can do. We're going to be talking about two things tied in together. Target marketing and monitoring for opportunities are both tied together. And the reason being is because of exactly what I said earlier. We launched a new product 3 weeks ago, which is monitoring for the whole spectrum of things. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. And why do we need this? Because one federal relationship is worth $5.8 million. And you need to be you got to do your mass, you can do your mass marketing, but you can also do your target marketing, which is a better thread to pull than just a NAICS code, right, Sally White?
That is absolutely 100% correct. And I just might tune you up a little tad. One of our clients did a contract for $13 billion. Another client, billion, and another client was awarded $3.6 billion from Los Alamos National Lab to Bechtel, a prime. So it can be more than 5.8 million.
It can be a lot more.
Yeah.
All right. So we got those. Jonathan, you got 34 people that you're going to need to talk to.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
There's a lot of people. So there's a lot of folks, and I appreciate you guys responding. We're going to keep this as rolling as we can. I do have one question, double poll in a row. How often do you check sam.gov, and how long does it take you? This one blew my mind last month. This one blew my mind. How often you do it and how long it takes. Because we're going to be talking about, and while you're doing that, and these are pretty quick. So one of the key things here is sam.gov is where all the contracting officers send you, right, Sally? They say, we post everything on sam.gov.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they
And
tell
it's
you
a-
that.
it's
Liar,
a
liar,
frightful-
pants on
It's a
fire.
horrific experience. You literally have to hire the ISI team to talk you down off the ledge after you actually gone in. I've done it several times. I've called them, I've texted them, I said, I need your help now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. So look at this, ladies and gentlemen. 34%, 20 to 30 minutes when they do it. And this is not unusual, right? This is not unusual. All I know is it sucks the life out of me is 31%.
It does.
All right. So
However, with if they were fabulous and wonderful, then they may not need you all as much.
well, that's a fact. We're perpetually employed. So and I'm going to introduce Zachary, who happens to be my oldest son, Zachary Lowe. So I say, hey, Zachary.
Love Zachary.
Howdy.
So I think you're muted, buddy. So I'm gonna,
I should be on now, right?
all right, so here we go. I'm going to share this poll real quick so everybody can see. So we're not alone, by the way, right? We're all in this together. Everybody is doing this. So not many folks are doing it constantly, not even daily, a couple times a week, which means when you get into September, Greg Clark, what happens in September with SAM.gov? What's the turnaround?
Days, hours.
8 hours. Exactly. So if you're only checking a couple of times a week, stuff's going to fall right through the cracks. You're never going to see it. And that's the stuff that's there. But I'm going to teach you some things about SAM.gov in just a minute. So I appreciate this. And look at this. The most people are in the 39% plus 29%. Sucks the life out of you, and 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to show you 1, how to save time. 2, how you can make sure that you don't miss the pieces that are most important to you. So with that, I am going to talk about a particular product that I'm very proud of that we launched, which is why Zachary's here, samradar.com. And I'm going to show you kind of how things work real quick. And you might see this unstealth the 98% right here. Now that's kind of a preview of what you're about to see. So first things first, we all want to win, right? I want to win. I'm just telling you, I want to win. And so do you. So the government gives us SAM.gov and they post opportunities there, right? And boy, this thing is a hot piece of mess, isn't it? So we created SAM.bid. And what we did with that was just do what, Zachary Lowe? What does SAM.bid do?
What SAM.gov should do,
That's exactly right.
but
So
it
the
doesn't.
objective, custom monitor, you can do it by NAICS, by PSE, and that what you were just talking about, Jonathan was talking about NAICS, right? Plus product service code, plus your keywords, right? That's how you're monitoring for these things. And because it gathers the information, as soon as it hits SAM.gov, it takes it and it sends it to you. And yes, finally, SAM.gov actually sends you things, but it doesn't do it as soon as it hits. And the problem is, Greg Clark, if you don't know as soon as it hits, first of all, you're already behind the curve because it's already an opportunity, right?
Correct.
And then
You didn't know about
secondly,
it beforehand, yeah.
if you didn't know about it beforehand, exactly. So if you don't know fast enough, then you can't possibly do what?
Respond the way you want to respond.
That's exactly right. You got to review it and then you got to propose. And we're going to talk about proposal in just a minute. And this is how you get to the wins. And we built SAM.bid, and it has been churning away at $89 a month. Okay, that gives you SAM.gov. So the problem is 2%. And you're saying, how can that possibly be? And I'm telling you, we've been doing the intelligence long enough, haven't we, Sally? We've been doing the intelligence long enough. We know that across the board, over the course of history, 2% hit SAM.gov. So as a result, what doesn't hit SAM.gov? These are what we're talking about. Large IDIQs, that one that you just talked about with Bechtel, right? Right, Sally? How many billions of dollars was that with Bechtel?
It was 13 billion until a protest, which we get into at another time. And then the one with, yeah, wait, it was 3 billion. And then the one with Hanford was 13 billion.
13.
Yeah.
So we're talking about $16 billion, which is an IDIQ or a blanket
Never hit,
purchase agreement.
You never know
Large
about it. I've got
contract,
these
right?
ones. Mhm.
That goes to the primes. The primes then hire subs or self-perform, whatever it happens to be.
They do.
Here's the other part. A lot of these are shortlisted between 2 to 5 companies, they can do that. Oh, yes, they can. Not only that, if it depends on the contract vehicle, but small businesses, you only need 3 of them. And everybody has preferences. You do, I do, they do. So as a result, they're shortlisted it with those. And then we only have 1 response, single response. So sole source, 0 competition, whether it's sole source because it happens to be 8A, could be socioeconomic, but no matter what, or an unsolicited proposal, right, Greg Clark? We talk about those. Julie Branson got requested for 1. She was in our Monday roundtables. Awesome. So this is where, guess what? This right here, that is 76%. 76% are shortlisted or 1 response. Folks, if you're playing the SAM.gov game, just the SAM.gov game, you already missed 76% from this part alone. And that doesn't even include whether or not you want to sub to the primes or something. So the problem is, guess what? 17,000 plus. When you get into this time of the year, it's over 25,000. When you get into September, it's over 50,000 awards every single day. So how do you deal with that? Well, you can't deal with them if you never see them. Because guess what? You can't win what you can't see. And that's why we built the system, to be able to watch this every day and say, this is the one that matters to you. And that's exactly what we did. Because if you can see them, you can win more. And you can win more 2 different ways. And we'll show you some of that in a minute. First of all, you want to be on the short list of the folks that are buying. Secondly, in order to do that, you have to build trust. You have to have conversations with those people in order to build trust, and you have to engage them so that you at least have your first conversation, so that you have meaningful conversations. This is fundamentals of sales and business development. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But what I'm saying is, if you don't even know that it exists, how can you have meaningful conversations about something you don't know exists? You can't. So that's why we did it. And that's where we have 98% of the rest of those. So Sam Radar, we just released this. It is going to be $4.99 a month very soon. But right now it's $2.49. And for the first group of folks that we're signing up, that price is never going to change. You can keep it for as long as you want. And I don't know if you know about PSLs. We got PSLs with Ravens, just saying. We're PSLs. It is exactly like that. We are going to restrict this market to the people that are, number 1, loyal to Sam Radar, and number 2, using Sam Radar. And we have to restrict the market because we can't give it to everybody on SAM.gov. Everybody is registered. We can't do it. So we're going to restrict that market. And if you want to be a part, that's great. You can save 50%. And oh, by the way, it includes Sam Bid. So you get 100% of the marketplace, and you're monitoring opportunities and seeing the awards. And you may be saying, but you're just telling me I'm a loser if I'm looking at awards. Yep. But guess what? You don't have to be a loser for long, because what can you do with that? You can turn this into your target marketing like we were talking about before. You want to be included on the short list. Your mission, number 1, fiscal year 2022, fiscal year 2023, 2024, 2025, all the way out for the rest of history in dealing with the government. You want to be on their short list. We already told you 76% are shortlisted. You need to be there. And guess what? They can sole source to you too. And you don't have to have a socioeconomic reason to do it. You can formulate unsolicited proposals, justification and approval language to be able to sole source even commoditized stuff. So we can help you do that. That's what we do every day. But the other thing you can do, first of all, get on the short list with the buyer. Secondly, get a referral to the prime or get a referral to the PM. Why do we do this? Because one freaking relationship's worth $5.8 million, at least $5.8 million. So
How do we know that?
How do we know that? Because we see it every day.
Yep.
And we do the intel, right? Exactly.
If you do the math, then one federal relationship is worth $5.8 million based on government spending.
That's exactly right. So what are we sending these folks? Here's your takeaway. You can do this yourself. What are you sending them? Here's your target marketing. Email, we're going to take the award or the opportunity, whether you see it on sam.gov or whether you see it on Sam Radar, right? Or FPDS, or wherever you want to pull it, right? So you're going to talk about the award and you're going to keep it short. You're going to keep it specific to that, whatever the thread that you're pulling. Remember, we're pulling a thread. This time, this thread is a better thread because it's immediately recognizable by the person that you're targeting. And you're going to pull that thread and you're going to give them one takeaway of what you do, period. Not a laundry list, one takeaway. When you see this, remember me. Remember, if you see cybersecurity challenges, remember B Technologies. Why? Because B Technology deals with the kill chain. They can help eliminate the problems with ransomware. Pick one of those and say, boom, that's what I want you to remember. When you see ransomware or problems with cyber, remember B Technology. That happens to be Stephanie's company. And you can join us at 1 o'clock if you'd like to check it out. govbrief.us. Anyhow, so here you'd have that one takeaway. Then you want a call to action. What do you want them to do? First, you want them to remember you, but if you need us, buy off of this, right? And then finally, your signature, again, make sure it has your UEI, your cage code, socioeconomic status, and your vehicles so they know that you belong. And then again, attach your capabilities as a PDF. If your mailing software does not allow you to do that, do it one at a time, or you can call us and we can do that as well. Remember who your target is. Do not pitch the buyer like you're going to pitch the program person, or pitch the prime like you're pitching the buyer. They're all different decision makers. Make sure you're targeting them right. And what do we mean by that? Well, again, the program people care about getting the job done. Procurement people care about getting the contract done. And you want to be able to say, hey, just let your program people know we're a resource. Because if they don't know we exist, we have the same problem. We can't play if they don't know that we exist. And these folks also know the prime. That's why we want to reach out and make sure we're engaging those folks. Is it easy? No. Does everybody answer? No. Is it possible they're never going to talk to you in your entire life? Yes. But guess what? You can't take a shot that you don't have. Take the best shot you can and take the best shot that you can possibly do right now. So what these systems do, to be clear, very clear, sam.gov monitors the opportunities and delivers them right to your inbox. Sam.bid, sorry, monitors sam.gov. Sam Radar monitors the awards and gives you 5 to 15 leads every week. Doesn't take long before you have a couple of 100 people that you have to be following up with on a regular basis. That's the job of the system. And the system gets smarter as you do it so that you're getting more qualified leads. It enables you to be proactive, gives you all the information that you need for the awardee as well as the buyer so that you can look at their history and go and get those folks. You can get a free 7-day trial for free, my favorite 4-letter word. And guess what else is included? Email templates, phone scripts, and real human support. Zachary happens to be part of our real human support. Say hello again, Zachary.
Hi.
Say hello, real human. So I just want to give a quick example of how these guys rock it. So on this very call, like 6 months ago, I met a gentleman named Karun. Karun has a company called IST, InfoSmart Technologies. And Karun said, how can you help me, Sally? I said, well, the first thing, do you know your buyer personas? Do you know your competitors? Do you know what you're doing? I said, you got to work with Dave and Zachary. So I said, why don't we go to Navy Gold Coast? We can walk and stalk, hang out, meet all these rear admin generals, et cetera, because that's his vibe. So we're doing that. They let us do matchmaking. So they give us a big, long list of people we get to meet with. We can't meet with 25 people, so we have to narrow it down. So I then got on a call with Zach and Dave. They were helpful in identifying which of those individuals are selling and winning awards based on their NACE code. So that when we go to this conference in a month, we can be very targeted in our dating and matchmaking, right? And so I can't emphasize enough what Dave and Zach and the team at ISI does. They help you, you can't boil the ocean, you can't serve the world. They help you get very specific and clear so we can target in what we do.
And why do we do that, Sally?
We do that because one federal relationship is worth at least 5.8. Chime out, Zachary, chime out, Greg. Come on, Peter.
Million,
$1 million. Yeah,
million
baby.
dollars.
Yeah,
All right.
baby.
So this is
Football.
the question of the day. Hold on a second. Give me Sam Radar, and this is a real easy question. Real easy. Sign up today, or you want a demo to see it. There's one of two things. And if you don't want it, don't click it.
Because we will be reaching out to you very, very shortly.
We got plenty of things that we got to do. All right. So
Including
what can
other
you do
people.
right now? Once we do all that stuff, we still got to respond to RFPs, don't we, Greg Clark?
We do indeed.
We do indeed. So this is what you guys do. And I love Greg because he loves paperwork, and I'm telling you, I don't. Am I right, Greg?
You don't, but I really don't either, but I work with people who do.
Well, you pretend to like it. I don't even pretend to like
Yeah,
it.
we're the paperwork people.
So you're the paperwork people.
Yeah, so you spend all year looking at these opportunities that you get from any number of sources, and you're trying to decide which of these are the best fit for your experience and capability, because at the end of the day, that's all a company is its experience and capabilities. And
That's
do those and do they match up with the performance requirements of this solicitation and the proposal requirements of the solicitation and the evaluation criteria? And you're going to eliminate a lot of projects because it's not a good fit. But when you do find it, and that bid no bid process bears fruit, now it's time to make sure you put your best foot forward.
And let me see if I did a good job. I made this up for you.
Oh my goodness.
See if I did it. Did I do it right? And
It's you're looking pretty good. Yeah.
looking pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing that this adds up to. So first of all, you want to review it, right? You want it, and the faster that you get to this one right here, the better off you are, right?
If you're not going to win this contract, you want to find out
But
as
Greg,
fast as you can.
No, Greg, I really want it.
Really want it, Greg.
Come on, Greg.
Do.
You really
You're supposed to be good at what you
do.
do, Greg. You're supposed to be good, man.
Yes, all I can do is present your experience and capabilities in the strongest way possible and address all of the components of the solicitation that need to be addressed and formatted the way the evaluators are expecting. I can't change the reality.
This goes to your eval, right?
Yeah, your bid no bid process is the most important component to your BD process.
So I could not agree more. And guess what? And truth is, I don't really like proposals, especially because I like to get my fingerprints on them beforehand. But sometimes we can't. Sometimes we don't know about things until after it hits the street.
Both,
right?
Yeah. You're marketing to somebody so that when your proposal comes in, you're a known entity, because people do what they like, know, and
they buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Correct.
That's the salesperson.
So that the marketing is another component of it. But your proposal, if they get a proposal from somebody they've never heard of, they get another proposal from somebody who's in their office every month. They're going to be looked at differently. So the unknown entity has to overcome that the known entity doesn't have to.
Love it. So what about this one? What about somebody says, I want to run this through GSA? What does that mean?
If a contracting person says you need to get a GSA contract to respond to an RFP, then the GSA schedule is another contract vehicle, so an IDIQ. And you may or may not be a fit for you. That's a BD process as well. What do you offer? Is there a category for what you offer? And then if so, look at that category and see who your competition is and what they offer and what they charge, because that's all available for everyone to review. And if it turns out that this is, so all of the information is there. You can see who's been approved, what they've been approved to offer, what they've been approved to charge. So there's all the information exists and is readily available for everyone to make a decision about how viable it is to do this. And if you do this and you get approved, you're approved for a period of 5 years with 3 5-year options, and at the end of 20 years, you reapply. So the information is there. You can make that decision whether or not it's something that you should do or not. And if it is, then we can. One question you need to ask yourself is, where are my sales going to come from? Because if you don't know, then you're not ready to apply.
Wow,
Right.
I love that. Where are your sales going to come from?
I ask that question every day.
That's a great question. And a couple different things. So I want to get a GSA contract so I can close business this fiscal year.
This fiscal year?
This fiscal year, right? I want it by September.
It's
want
going to be
it.
next. It's going to be next fiscal year, because we're talking. Because if you decide today you're going to go through that process, and you, as a company, make the decision that it's a viable thing for you to do, then best case scenario is you get approved a few months from today.
So
Maybe
where
it's probably going to be closer to 8 months.
probably close to 8 months. And that's because of GSA. That's not because of any other reason.
Yeah,
Every
no, I mean,
once in a while-
it's gonna take you a month or two probably to put your application together, and then it's going to take another 3 to 6 months for it to be evaluated and approved.
Right. And it's another thing that you guys do. That's why it was a semi setup, but I really love what you just said. And that is, where are your sales going to come from? And do yourself a favor. Get yourself in a situation with a buyer who says, I'm going to run this through a GSA contract. Because guess what? How many of you have you done these GSA contracts? How many?
How many people have we gotten approved?
Yeah.
437.
437.
Wow.
So what are the chances? Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. So what are the chances if you have something that you want, that you need to set, that somebody says, I need a GSA contract, and you say, I want to sell this, somebody probably already has a GSA contract that you can team up with, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So, and the chances are you probably know some. If not, I know some. If not, Sally knows some, or somebody's going to know somebody that has a contract. Do yourself a favor, inject yourself into the conversation and have them tell you that that's the vehicle that they want to use. That's always a great question to ask, by the way. All right. So question is, and I've actually added one here for that exact purpose, kind of half of a setup, right? Greg, please help me get a GSA contract. What if you need, hey, I need a GSA partner for an order. I put that on there. You didn't even know that was coming, Greg.
I did not.
Wow.
You did not.
All
So
for
a
us,
current
Greg.
proposal,
All for us.
a future proposal, get my past performance in order. Very important to have past performance in order, because guess what? That's a classic chicken and the egg, isn't it?
Apparently, we put everybody to sleep. No,
Yeah, apparently.
oh, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
It was too long of a question.
Right?
Right.
They needed
So-
to read all the options first.
That's right. So GSA, Greg can help you with the GSA. If you already have a GSA contract, I'm going to send you here. This is what you need right now to be monitoring. And I'm telling, we built this specifically for this time of year. We were doing bid submissions through GSA eBuy. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, it sounds like wah, Charlie Brown. You don't have a GSA contract. So you can turn your ears off for a second, or at least listen to what happens after, right? So things posted GSA eBuy, you need to know right away. We built Quick Fuse. This is 9-10 years ago. We built this for our own internal use, because this time of year, doesn't matter really what contract it is. You need to make sure that you're paying attention, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss it. Right, Craig?
Correct. And I'm going to butcher this, but I think Xiaozhen Wang asked the question. We have a GSA schedule. How do we make sales and
There you go.
maximize sales? So
Quickfuse.com, QUIKFUSE.com. This is $89 a month. I'm telling you, just the dual factor authentication and logging into eBuy pays for that like that. Not to mention, you're absolutely going to find something that you missed. So you can test drive it for 3 days. Why 3 days, Dave? Because now it's a fiscal year end, and it is an incredible system that sends out a ton of emails. Especially if you're in technology, you're gonna get a crap ton. So if you want to do it, Quick Fuse, QUIKFUSE.com. And if you keep it for a year and you don't sell 5 times as much as it costs, right? So you're gonna keep it for a year, it's about $1,000. So if you don't sell $5,000 more, follow the instructions, come to the Monday roundtables. Julie will attest She's here. I didn't promote her yet. But Julie will tell you, come to those round tables. You cannot lose. You're going to win contracts if you do. And what happens if you need help with events and connections in events? That would be Sally White.
Yay.
Yeah, there's
So-
Sally. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I have to just say, and I know you're gonna get to Peter, but I just have to say that once you've done all these amazing things, you've worked with Dave, you're getting your, contract game on, your contract officers, you're doing marketing. Once you work with me, I go to conferences, I help you get clients, I connect you with rear admiral generals and super executive connectors, and make sure your brand and your website, everything looks as good as your products do. What happens is you're gonna get someone that calls you and says, you're gonna get somebody who wants to contract with you, and you want to look like you're ready. And so Peter Timbus, who I put his information in, he'll talk to you in a minute, he's going to help you by creating a letter that gives you credibility. So when Dave pops up his poll or whatever, you want to get with Peter. The second thing is when you need money because you can't make payroll. And I'm only doing this because I have 3 clients now who've gone through the Dave process. I met him here on this meeting. I've contracted with them. I've introduced them to Greg. I've introduced them to Dave, Raphael, the whole team. And now they're winning some. They need money. So Peter's helping them with money. It's a true story. So yeah,
Yep.
happy to be your executive connector. I put my information in the chat.
Yep.
Would be happy
we'll-
to help.
we are going to get to some questions because we got done faster than I thought.
Good.
So Sally, please help me. And you can help me with my LinkedIn. You do that stuff, LinkedIn, all kind of things. Just take a look. Engagement message, reach specific program managers, network with senior govies. That's what she's talking about with the admirals and generals, and something specific. Now I'm going to get to some questions. Joe says, has the federal contract situation improved with data migration issues? No. We were scared off last year and did a migration risk by suspending bids when we found Sam was losing information with the migration last year. I'm not shocked about that. I'm sorry that you had to bail. That's why we built the systems that we built. Just saying. That's exactly why we did it, because unfortunately, the systems, not just the actual system of SAM.gov, but the small business liaison systems, the OSDBOs, and all the rest of the systems that they built for customers to try to help businesses are broken. They are broken. And the problem is they don't take into into effect the actual interaction with human beings. Just saying. Sally's at an event right now. She's at an event where they have matchmaking sessions. Imagine sitting in a matchmaking session as a decision maker, and you're talking to 25 or 30 people in a given day. Your mind is mush. My mind's mush just thinking about it. And the fact of the matter is their mind is mush too. And you need a way to get around that whole system. First of all, make sure they remember you if you're in that situation, but then also making sure that you are bypassing that whole entire situation. So Joe, we can schedule a time later. Feel free to do that. But the answer is the situation hasn't improved, but with chaos comes opportunity every single time. They know they have problems. They know they have migration issues. If you can help with that, or if you can bypass all with the migration issues because Sam's dropping some of the things you're talking about, fantastic. That's one of the things that we can help do. Our product is rarely specified in most projects. Mary says this. We sell artwork, American-made lighting, design services. Our company has a GSA contract and an IDIQ contract. How do we sell our product? Multiple ways, Mary. Very good question, by the way. So you have a niche market. So you're going to sell it in multiple ways. Most times you're going to go to folks that are doing facilities management, facilities maintenance. You're going to look for leading indicators coming from architects, coming from interior designers, and you're going to go and after those folks at the facilities level, as well as going after the folks that are speccing those products in. You're probably not going to win a whole lot of direct work. Okay, take what you can, and maybe 10%, fine, take what you can. You can drive them to your GSA contract. You can drive them to your IDIQ. You need to evangelize the fact that you have those vehicles, and now is a great time to do it. So what you need is you need buyers that are buying architect, general contracting, facility services, so that you can market your artwork to them. That's exactly what you want to do. Good, great question, Mary. All right. Any other things that are in here? We're pursuing an opportunity. This is Tom. We're pursuing an opportunity announced on SAM.gov, which was switched by the government to ITES 3S, at which point we lost all visibility. Exactly. You just lost. And so does your product pick up task orders, PRs, opportunities under the GWACs? Yes, but not until they're awarded.
Correct.
So what you need to do, so that then you're like, Dave, that doesn't freaking help. I can't help you see something that you can't see. That's the first thing. However, if you know that that buyer is buying off of that GWAC, that is who you need to get to. And you get to be able to see the prime that's winning as well. That's your objective. And yes, if it's ITES, Greg, tell everybody what ITES is.
I have no idea.
ITES 3S is an IDIQ. It's an IDIQ. It's like soup or anything else. But
Which agency has it?
So I know that wasn't the best answer for you.
It's Army.
Tom Bragg, but that's the Army. Gotcha. ITES.
And
Yep, it's Army.
And there's one other thing that's really important here is that if you didn't know that it was showing up until it hit SAM.gov and then it got moved, odds are it's tough to win that anyway, right? So we got to have some type of method to get you in the room where it happens, as they say in Hamilton.
I love it.
Oh, I wonder what that could be. Oh, there's a Sam Radar free trial in the chat right there. No, I'm just kidding. But if you clicked that you want a free trial in the poll, feel free to sign up right there. We'll be reaching out to you today if you sign up, and we'll make sure that we touch base with you to make sure that you understand how to use it and what you need to do. It's really, really critical as we get to this year end. My dad kind of emphasizes it a bit, but we have less than 60 days left. This is crazy.
It is nuts.
So get on it, get in the system so that you can get a feel for what's going on and you can find out who you want to reach out to, especially come October 1st.
So Ronald Dean is asking, does your product only focus on awardees? No, it doesn't. It focuses on both sides. And SAM.bid is included, so that the opportunities come through SAM.bid immediately as soon as they hit SAM.gov, and then SAM Radar give you insight on the other 98%. Again,
I believe I had to save the chat in the chat. Bye, everybody. Have fun.
all right, see you later. Thanks for joining us. All right, so what do you need? If you need anything else, let us know. 80% happening right now. It is Q4. I really appreciate everybody joining us today, and we actually did this in time. So we have Jonathan Serrano with Ralph Yamaro. Thank you, sir. Glad that you got to be able to join us. Give Ralph our best, big man.
Will do.
I appreciate that. Greg Clark, thank you very much for all your
Thank you.
fantastic information. Everybody's going to be reaching out. It is hot. It is hot right now. Sally White's information is right here. Peter Timmis, who Sally White brought up again, does the contract funding, as well as, what is that thing called that you do for on the front end?
Financial letter of support.
Financial letter of support. Very important, especially if you're trying to win a 10 million contract and you're only a $1 million company, right?
Correct.
That is really important. If you want to check out Brian Hebel, you can check out him at acquisitionhelp.com. Upcoming briefings, if you're interested in doing business throughout this, we're going to be concentrating on some specific things like P card contracts. It's amazing how much money can get spent on P cards. We found out that you can actually spend $1 million on that, up to $999,999 on a P card. I had no idea until the last session. So I really enjoyed that. Engaging federal buyers, very important this time of year, and contract opportunities with a tutorial on that as well. So if you want to find out about that, check out govbrief.us. I'm reading the next slide. Quick Fuse you can get at QUIKFUSE.com. You must have a GSA contract for that. And with that, you can check us out on YouTube, link with me on LinkedIn. Just look up ISI Federal. You will see me there. And next time, we're going to be talking about last minute contracts. I wonder why we're talking about that, Greg Clark. Why would we be talking about last minute contracts?
Because we got about 6 weeks.
Yeah. But by then, you only got 2.
Yeah. And so, but everybody that has a GSA schedule, if you're not monitoring eBuy right now, you're wasting opportunities.
You
'Cause
are
they're getting in there, they're quick turnarounds, and your competition doesn't want to deal with those quick turnarounds, and that's an opportunity. Like you said, in chaos, there's opportunities. Those quick turnarounds, your competition's saying, I can't do that. Well, we can do it, and you can do it too.
This is really one of the missing pieces for GSA contract holders. Real quick, before we jump off. If you're paying attention, you can find weaknesses in your competition just from here, just from this. And because it's possible, think about it. If everybody's getting these and you have 40 things on your desk, can you turn around 40 things that are landing 40 times a day? There's no way. And your competition can't do it either. So as a result, you're automatically getting there. So definitely. All right. So
let me just finish off that. Last year in September, we won a contract with the client. The RFQ was issued in eBuy Saturday night. Proposals were due Monday morning. Pay attention to eBuy right now. Pay attention to eBuy for the net until the end of September. There are cherry picking to be done. There is cherry picking to be done.
There absolutely is. And
how much competition do you think we had on that project that was issued Saturday night and due Monday morning? Not much. Not much.
Nothing. You know, because guess what? If you didn't know that it was there, first of all, did you know it was coming, or it was just landed out of the blue?
Our client knew it was coming.
Your client knew it was coming.
Didn't know the moment it was coming, but knew it was coming and said, yeah, we're working on it now.
If they weren't paying attention on a Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, because we had the same situation with Department of State years ago. Came out, it was 24-hour turnaround, came out at 11 a.m. on a Sunday. 24 hours. Do the math. 11 a.m. on Monday. And guess what? Our client wasn't paying attention. They missed it. They didn't even know it was there until noon on Monday. Guess what? They lost. It was $275,000 too. What are you going to do? Nothing you can do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Awesome job. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
We appreciate you guys joining us. We will see you next time. And otherwise, check out govbrief.us. We got a bunch of stuff happening. And we will be in touch for everybody that wants to sign up. We will welcome you on board. And we have a loyalty program that you have no idea how good it is. So we appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much again, guys. Really awesome. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Take care.